Hi everyone, welcome back to my channel. If you're new here, my name is Ellen and I'm the creator behind Sew and Inspire. Today I have another knitting podcast for you where I'm going to sit down and chat through everything I've been working on over the past few months at this point. As always, it really wasn't my intention to leave it this long before podcasting again, but I honestly have been in quite a bad place again with my mental health, and just the thought of talking to anyone has just felt a bit overwhelming, so I've just put off filming. But today I thought I would give it a go, sit down and chat through what I've been working on, because I have some very exciting projects going at the moment and I really want to share them. And also I love having these as a sort of journal of my knitting, like so I can go back and see what I was working on. So I'm doing it for that more than anything. But I hope you enjoy. Grab a drink, grab your knitting and let's get started. So as it has been quite a while, there are a fair amount of finished objects, but I'm going to start with what I'm wearing because it is freshly finished, so I thought I would wear it today. This wasn't even a whip in the last podcast, but it is now finished, and this is the Knitty Committee tee by Lily France, or Lily Kate Makes. I test knit this for Lily and I could not be happier with this. It is a fingering weight tee with loads of different options. You can do short sleeve, long sleeves, puff sleeves, it cropped or long. You can do different ribbing options. Like, there are just so many different things to choose from and I absolutely love patterns like that. So for mine I went with the short sleeved, cropped and this really gorgeous double ribbing detail, which is honestly one of the things that just absolutely sold me on this design. I've never seen it before and I just love it. The yarn that I used for this was Rowan Summer Light 4-ply in the colourway Duck Egg. I was given this big bag of yarn and in there was almost 4 balls of the Rowan Light Summer Light 4-ply, and it was the perfect amount to knit this tee, so I am absolutely well chuffed. So this tee literally cost me nothing because it was also a test knit, so I didn't pay for the pattern either. So yeah, it only cost me my time, which there was a lot of hours in this because it's a fingering weight garment, but so worth it. I just know I'm going to get so much wear out of this in the spring and summer. This yarn is so soft. I believe it's Egyptian cotton, which is why it's so soft, but it is gorgeous. As someone who is very sensitive, this is 10 out of 10 soft. This was my first time kind of doing proper set-in sleeves, so that was something really nice and new to try. And there is also waist decreases, I don't know if you can see that, all the way down the body, so you get a really nice fit. I will say there is like, it doesn't fit me snugly at the waist, but I don't really mind that. It fits me. I believe I knit this with 0 amount of positive ease, so there's no negative ease in it. It just is like exactly my bust measurement, I think. I absolutely love this, and I believe this is coming out on the 15th of May, somewhere around then. So you'll be able to get your hands on this gorgeous pattern very soon. I'm absolutely loving seeing all the different testers versions because there are just so many like different versions of the pattern, so it's just really fun. As always with Lily's patterns, the little details that she adds just makes the fit 10 out of 10. Like, there are short rows to shape the shoulders, obviously all the short rows in the sleeve cap shape sleeves, the waist decreases. Like, she just thinks of everything and just makes I think, the most gorgeously designed and created patterns. So yeah, that is my Knitty Committee, and I could not be happier, as you can probably tell. Next finished object is my Iris cardigan by Iris Makes. This is a gorgeous round neck DK weight cardigan. I was also lucky enough to test this one for Iris, which was such a joy. I've never tested it for her before, so that was, for God's sake. So it was really, really lovely to test it for someone new. This is just a gorgeous staple everyday cardigan. It has really small ribbed finishes on all of the edges, and then this absolutely tiny double knit button band down the front, and I just think it has come out so lovely, and it's just such a wearable everyday piece. It has a tiny little folded neckband as well, which I think in the pattern is recommended that you cast off and then sew it down, but I will avoid that wherever possible. I despise sewing things down for some reason, so I just knit mine down, and it's turned out absolutely fine. Like, I think it's turned out perfectly, so I'm really happy with it. But yeah, I think I knit size B for this one, and then I chose these little tortoiseshell buttons, which I think just work really, really well. I just found them in my huge button stash. I was gonna order some, and then I was like, whoa, the sun just went in. I was gonna order some, and then I was like, hang on, Ella, like, you must have something in your thousands of buttons that you have. So yeah, I found these ones, and I think they work really, really well. The yarn that I used for this was Filcolana Panilla in the colourway Raindrop Melange. This is one of my all-time favourite yarns. If you have never used Filcolana Panilla or Peruvian Highland wool, you have to. You just have to. They're lovely, lovely 100% wool yarns. I have made my mum something in Filcolana Panilla, and she wears it so much, so I know that it holds up. It does pill, but not crazy amounts, and it is definitely next to skin soft for most people apart from me, because I'm extremely sensitive. So I was hoping this would have got a lot more wear than it has, but I don't think I've worn it once, because every time I've gone to put it on I've been like, it's prickly, I can't do it, I can't do it. So I'm really, really sad that this might be something that doesn't get that much wear because of my sensitiveness, but maybe when it's a bit colder in the winter, when I can wear like a long sleeve t-shirt under it, I'll be fine. Hopefully anyway, because this would be such a shame. Every time I look at this I decide it's a different colour. It's like a bluey, greeny, you decide what colour you want to call this, and I'm not 100% sold that it suits me, this colour. I'm not really a blue person apart from navy blue, so I may dye this, I'm not sure. Let me know what you think in the comments, whether you think this colour suits me. But yeah, that is my Iris cardigan. I am really happy with this, and I love it, and I definitely see myself knitting myself another one in a yarn that I do not find prickly. My next finished object is my Dartmoor sweater by Kadri, which I knit out of one strand of Irish Artisan yarns, their 4-ply sock yarn in the colourway Bushmills, and one strand of Drops brushed alpaca silk, I believe in the colourway Almond, if I remember correctly, but it will be in my Ravelry project page if you would like to know the exact colour. And the Drops brushed alpaca silk is a lot lighter than the Bushmills. I've never used brushed alpaca silk before, so I didn't really know what it was like, but let me tell you, it is fluffy. Like, it is hairy. Like, you can literally pull the alpaca hairs off of it. It is, yeah, seriously fluffy, but I don't find it itchy. Yay! Finally I have found, I'm learning what works for me. I have been dying to knit the Dartmoor sweater for ages. I just absolutely love the shoulder detail at the back, this one line of stitches that goes all the way across. I just love it, and I love like the super big ribbing and just like the super oversized cozy feel of it. I think this pattern is designed for like a bulky weight yarn, but as I said, I used the fingering and lace weight together and it's created such a light and drapey fabric. It's just lovely. And I also opted just to do a single folded collar instead of a double folded collar, partly because I was short on yarn. I only had 2 skeins of the 4 ply, so I was kind of like not cutting corners but using less yarn where I could, basically. But I think with the drapiness of this, I think a single folded collar actually works really well. And then I just did a lovely Italian bind off to finish. Literally, I am sat here, I'm wearing black trousers, and now my black trousers are covered in white hair from this fluff. I don't know if this shedding will like decrease over time or what, but I kind of hope so, because like it kind of puts me off wearing this, because I know that anything I sit on will just then be covered in white fluff, so it's not ideal, but I'm hoping that will decrease. I'm not too sure, but yeah, I'm super happy with this, and I think I will get a lot of wear out of this in the cooler months. Okay, I'm now going to just quickly run through some of the accessories which I finished. So the first one is my Midland neck, which is by Laura Penrose. Here she is. I am so happy with this one. Let me just pop it on for you. Definitely not the weather for this anymore, but oh, I love it. I know I'm going to get so much wear out of this. So it is a knit side to side dicky collar. Is that what they're called? I don't know. The Midland neck. It's a neck. I don't know. It's knit in garter stitch from side to side, and it uses short rows to shape the neckline and shape the shoulder, and has a little faux seam running along here, and then you pick up and work the 1x1 ribbed turtleneck, which when I was knitting I thought was never going to end. I think I'm like, gosh, nearly 3 years into my knitting journey at this point. I don't think I've ever knit a turtleneck, so this was long, let me tell you, but it's so worth it. I'm so happy with it. And the yarn that I used for this was super cheap from Aldi. It was the So Crafty Aran in the colourway Nickel. I think it's 75% acrylic, 25% wool, and it's not like not soft, but it's just not the nicest. Like, I wouldn't buy it again, but I thought I'd try it. This pattern does call for a DK weight, but like a worsted heavy DK, so I thought an Aran would be fine, and it worked out absolutely great. So super happy with this one, and I honestly see more in my future because my mum rather likes this too, so yeah, definitely see more of these in my future. And I loved the knitting process of this. I love the knitting process of the Midlands. I've also made the Midland cardigan, and I love that. It's just something new and exciting. I also finally finished this pair of socks. These are just vanilla socks with a 2x2 ribbed cuff, a shadow wrap short row heel, and then just a normal wedge toe. The yarn that I used for these was Symmetric Socks Helsinki Sock Lovers by Katya in the colour 52. And I just love these colours. I love how the yarn's worked up. I love self-striping yarn because you always want to get to the next stripe. The cuffs being all in brown is just how the yarn worked, and same with the heel. I just ended up getting to that point and when I did the heel. So I think I ended up doing 70 rounds for the leg, which is more than I normally do, but that is what I had to do to basically get to this point of the yarn to do the heel. But these are for my mum because I am not a huge fan of commercial sock yarn. I just find it a bit too scratchy. You will kind of gather here I am very sensitive. So yeah, these have been passed on to my mum, which she hasn't actually worn because I finished these when it was like getting too warm to need hand knit socks, but I'm sure she'll get loads of wear out of them in the winter time. I am so happy to have these finished. I think I cast these on January last year, so I think they are my longest ever standing sock whip, so very pleased for them to be done. I also made a red Harris hood by Coco and More Knitwear. I've already knit one of these this year, and then the person asked if I would make another one for someone else, so I said of course, because I absolutely loved knitting the Harris hood. So the yarn that I used for this was Serdar Country Classic Worsted, which did create quite an open fabric for this, but it did work well. And that yarn is so soft. It would also be a great option for the Midland neck. The colourway that I used was called Lipstick, and it was just like the perfect post box red, which is exactly what they wanted. The only modification sort of that I made to this was I picked up with a needle size 1mm smaller instead of 0.5mm smaller for the like face ribbing, because I found that on the first one that I made, like it like flopped out quite a lot, whereas like I feel like when you're wearing a hood you want it to like sort of cinch in and like keep your face warm, and I think it turned out so much better, so I'm really happy that I did that. And if I make another one, which I think I will for myself, then I would definitely go down that extra half needle size to do the face ribbing. Okay, and the final finished object is the Jacques scarf by Laura Penrose. I knit this for my mum as a surprise for her birthday, and I could not be happier with this. I managed to use up both yarns from Stash, which felt so good that I was literally just waiting for the pattern to come out, because I had the yarn that I knew I wanted to use and it ended up being the perfect amount. The navy blue is King Cole Cotton Smooth DK, I believe. As I said, I had this in Stash. I made an Abydos top with it as a gift. Complete wrong yarn for that top, don't recommend, but anyway, and I had one ball left, so which was literally perfect for the Jacques. And then I also had like 30 grams of Drops Bell in the colourway Old Pink, so I used that for the little stripes, and I had the absolute perfect amount. And yes, I was just waiting on the pattern, so as soon as it came out I cast it on, and I managed to get it done the day before her birthday, so that's a bonus. So the Jacques scarf is a striped sort of like triangle-y scarf, you know, like the same as like the Sophie scarf shape. It's a garter stitch scarf which is made with increases, but the Jacques scarf has one double knit edge on one side and then an I-cord edge on the other, which it's kind of what sets it apart from the rest, and you do this using intarsia. I've never done intarsia before, so this was a great project to give it a go, and I'm really happy with it. This was such a joy to knit. I enjoyed every single stitch. You always want to get to the next stripe, and you have that little bit of interest with the stripes and the intarsia, and it's just the perfect potato chip knitting. Potato chip, that's so American. But saying crisp knitting just sounds weird. So potato chip knitting it is. I made the smaller size because that is how much yarn I had. Basically I was running quite low on this navy blue yarn, but we managed to get there. But I think I love it so much because it was such a joy to make. Do you ever get that, like when you just enjoyed making something so much you just love the finished garment even more? Okay, shall we move on to some whips? I think it's about time. First whip is in my gorgeous mood bag. I absolutely adore this bag. I always have a project in it. This is kind of what I have been focusing most of my attention on recently, because the deadline for the test knit is the 28th of May, I think. So I am knitting the Lise top by the Knit Pearl Girl. The Lise is a top down sort of mini drop shoulder slash sort of set in sleeve DK weight summer sweater is what I like to call it. I just think it is so perfect for the summer. Obviously you could definitely make it for the winter if you made it in wool, but I am knitting mine in cotton because I have in mind for this to just be the perfect spring summer sweater. Honestly, the thing that caught my eye about this one was the construction. I've been dying to make something with this construction. You basically cast on for the back neck and then work increases down the shoulder. Then you split for front and back and knit flat for the yoke, and then you join back in the round for the body. Then you pick up for the sleeves, and the sleeves are done in 2x2 broken rib with a little bit of shaping down them, but they are kind of designed to be very like wide and flowy and nice. And then the collar is picked up and just knit in stockinette and then bound off, so you get this kind of like rolled hem, which I really love at the moment. I have sort of knit both sleeves. One sleeve is on trying on tubing, the other is still on the needles because I've just been lazy and haven't transferred it to try on tubing, but I haven't bound them off because I'm unsure about the length and I think they may grow with blocking. So right now they are too short, but I honestly have no idea how much they're going to grow with blocking, so I've just popped them on some try on tubing so I can block it and then see if I need to add more length or whether I'm good to just cast off. So I've just been working away on the body to try and get this ready to be blocked. So it's just a lot of easy stockinette in the round right now, which I am thoroughly enjoying. The yarn that I'm using is actually the same yarn as this because I loved it so much, and so it is the Rowan Summer Light 4 ply in the exact same colourway as well, duck egg. And then I'm holding that with this, which is a lace weight cone. It says in here that it is 85% cotton and 15% cashmere. You heard that correctly, and you will never believe how much I paid for this. I picked this up in a charity shop for 50p. 50p. I've nearly finished the whole garment and look how much is left. I'm going to be able to get so much out of this cone. I don't know what else I'm going to do with it because it's a lace weight, but it works beautifully held with this. And it's creating this like slight mild fabric, but I think they just tone in so well together. So yeah, super happy with this one. Again, I've absolutely loved the construction of this because it's something new, and I'm not gonna lie, the only bit I haven't enjoyed so much was knitting the sleeves. I just found the 2x2 broken rib a little bit of a slog, but I love the look of them and I think it'll be well worth it. My next whip is in one of my new bags. Do you like her? She's so cute, isn't she? I had some leftover cord fabric from a product I used to do, so I just made this little star motif and made a little bag with it, which I really love. Okay, I have a love-hate relationship with this project. The next thing I have been working on is the ranunculus. I know, I'm finally making a ranunculus. I feel like the only knitter left to have not made a ranunculus, but this is not for me. I am sample knitting this for the lovely Tara at Irish Artisan Yarns. So the yarn that I'm using is her 4-ply 65% superwash merino, 20% silk and 15% yak in the colourway natural. And oh, this yarn is gorgeous. I'm absolutely loving working with it. I have been dying to start to knit a ranunculus for ages. Like, I felt left out and I wanted to see what the hype was all about, and I'm not that far into it, but I do get it. It is really therapeutic to knit. I'm not that far in, as you can tell, and it kind of just looks like a straggly mess right now because it is at such an open gauge. I'm using 4-ply yarn on 7mm needles, but that is what I had to use to get gauge, so that is what I'm using. But yeah, I've literally just done the first kind of motif and the neckline ribbing, so yeah, hopefully this turns out okay, because I have, well, as I said, this is a sample for Tara. I'm using this as like my mindful project because I have to focus on every row at the moment, and then it will move into my mindless knitting just in time for my Lise top to be done, so hopefully. So, but it is quite nice to be working on such big needles because it grows so quick. And then my final knitting whip is also in another new bag, which will be coming to the shop at some point soon. It is this gorgeous gingham and I'm in love with it. But it wouldn't be my podcast without a little sock whip. So I am just knitting another vanilla sock. The yarn that I'm using, this gorgeous yarn I'm using, is from Jess at Skein and the Stitch, and I believe this is definitely one of her Little Women colourways. I believe it was Amy, but I can't find the label anywhere, which is weird because I never throw away labels. So I'm pretty sure this was Amy, but I love it so much. I love Little Women, so when I saw this colourway I just had to get it. So yeah, I've done a 2x2 ribbed 20 round cuff, and then these are for me. These are actually going to be my first ever pair of hand-dyed yarn socks for myself, which I'm very excited about since I can't wear the commercial sock yarn because I find it too scratchy. I'm hoping hand-dyed yarn socks are going to be great. So I've done 50 rounds for the leg, and I don't like super long socks, so I think I am about ready to do the heel now. But I can't decide whether I want to do a heel flap and gusset or a short row heel. I've only ever done a heel flap and gusset until the first pair of socks I showed you, so I don't actually know what fits me the best. so I need to do a bit of experimenting there, but we will see what I decide when I get to these. But I haven't worked on these in a while because I've just been so focused on my test knits. But they're just great to have when you just need a little bit of mindless knitting. Okay, so the final whip, which I have to show you, is a little bit of crochet. I know, who am I? I do dabble in crochet every now and then because I really do enjoy it. And this is a very special one. I'm in love with this. Look how gorgeous. This is the beginnings of a blanket which I'm knitting for someone very, very special in my life for Christmas. So I wanted to get it started nice and early so I'm not panicking about getting it done in time. So yeah, I'm just working on this as and when I feel like it, really. And then when I'm like probably a bit closer to the time, I'll be like, okay, I really need to crack on with this now. But I'm hoping to just get this done leisurely up until Christmas. We'll see if that happens. But the yarn that I'm using is this. I believe this is new. It's from Stylecraft and it's Colour Burst, DK weight, 80% acrylic and 20% polyamide. But isn't it giving hand-dyed vibes? I think so. Like, I think it looks hand-dyed vibes, and definitely not for a hand-dyed price. So I think I have 3 of these, and I also have 3 of the white. The white is just on hand, which is Hayfield Bonus DK. This is not my favourite acrylic yarn ever. It's not the softest, but it does the job. It's a blanket, you know what I mean. So yeah, and I'm literally, I just searched on YouTube for a tutorial on how to do a moss stitch rectangle, and I'm just doing 1 row stripes of the white and then the colourful one, and it's creating this gorgeous fabric. I think this is going to be the most gorgeous blanket. I'm almost, don't want to give it away. I might have to make myself one because I love it. I'm a bit obsessed with crochet moss stitch at the moment. I'm seeing crochet moss stitch blankets everywhere. So I really wanted to make one. So I knew I wanted to make a blanket for this person. So I thought it'd be the great opportunity to start one. I actually already started this blanket with a different yarn, which I do really like. But when I was weaving in the ends, this yarn is so silky smooth. It is very tangled. Oh my god, what is going on? Why is it so tangled? But this yarn is Rico Creative Silky Touch DK. This is gorgeous. It is so soft. It's 100% acrylic, but it is so soft and silky, as the name may suggest. And I got the white, this terracotta-y pink, and this mousy brown, and I was loving it. But as I said, when I was weaving in the ends, they were just like popping out because the yarn's so like silky. So I just wasn't happy. I can't actually see where that was happening now, if I'm honest. Here, can you see that? That little end poking out there. So I just didn't want to risk making a whole blanket and then like there being loads of like there. So I don't know what I'm gonna do with all of this because obviously I bought enough to make the blanket. So we will see. I'm kind of thinking of like using it to make baby cardigans. Like, I'm dying to knit a baby cardigan for some reason. Don't know why. Do I have a child? No. Do I know any children? Also no. But I'm dying to make a baby cardigan. I don't know, I'm just really intrigued to see like how quick it knits up and just what it's like. I don't know. But yeah, so that was my fail. But this is 100% a success. I am using a 4.5mm hook because I didn't want it to be like super dense. So yeah, they're gonna have a nice drape to it. I think we got there. I think we made it. I think what I'm gonna do is take a break and then come back and talk about some of my acquisitions and upcoming plans, because I'm not gonna lie, I'm a bit pooped. I need some water. So I hope that's okay for continuity reasons. I know it's not ideal, but I've got to do what works for me, and at the end of the day it's not really going to affect the watching of this, so I hope that's okay. Okay, on to some acquisitions and upcoming plans. I'm going to chat through my 2 upcoming projects first, and then I will move on to some acquisitions that I have picked up over the last few months. I'm not going to show you everything I've picked up, because I'm not going to lie, it's quite a lot. I went on a little bit of a yarn shopping spree, but I'm super excited about all the projects I've bought the yarn for, so I'm allowing it. So sort of next on my cast on list are 2 gift knits. I really love to gift knit for my grandparents when I can, so I will kind of do it at any opportunity. So if you are one of my grandparents and your birthday is in August, please stop watching now. But the first one is for my lovely Nana, who is the one that taught me how to sew and knit. For her birthday, I'm going to be knitting her the Salty Air Tea by Samantha Guerin. I'm so sorry if I pronounced that wrong. This is a super popular pattern, I'm sure you've probably heard of it, but I am going to be knitting it for her in Creative Anarchy, in her bourgeois base, which is 80% superwash merino and 20% silk. It's her high twist fingering weight yarn, and this is the colourway Bay. It's this really gorgeous sort of tonal burgundy red, burnt red kind of colour, I'd describe it as. This is so soft, like beyond soft. I think this is going to knit up into the most lovely Salty Air Tea. I'm really excited to get this one started. I've had my eye on the Salty Air Tea for ages, and I think my Nana would really like it, so hopefully she does. And yeah, I'm really looking forward to casting this one on very soon. It is fingering weight tea, so I want to cast on with plenty of time so I can definitely get it done. And then the other gift knit is going to be quite the undertaking. I'm aiming to have this done by August, but if not, it can be a Christmas present, because this is quite a project and a half. I have got Cascade 220 Superwash DK. I've never used Cascade before, but I've heard really great things. I wanted something that's gonna be great for cables, hold its structure, but is also really soft and cozy, and I think this is perfect. I am very happy. This is in the colourway 854, which I believe is called navy blue. I don't know, to me this is more of like a petrol blue. It's not coming up very well on camera. It's got a little bit of more of a petrol tinge, I'd say. I still like the colour, and I think my grandpa will like the colour, but I just think it's a little bit misleading calling it navy blue. Like, I've got some navy blue fabric here, and to me, you can see that there's a difference between them. I don't know if that's coming up on camera, but so what am I going to be making? Basically, When my mum was at my grandparents' house the other day, my grandpa mentioned that he saw this sweater on the TV that he really likes. I can't remember if it was cabled, if my mum said it was cabled, but it had a very specific neckline, and I think it was cabled as well. So I set off on a hunt to find a pattern to make him a replica of it, and I've gone and done it. I found this on Ravelry. I'm going to be making the Cozy Shawl Collared Aran Pullover by Jeanette Sasbo. I'm so sorry, I probably pronounced that wrong, but it has got the exact neckline that he wanted, and it's all over cables. This is going to be possibly the most complex garment I will have ever knit, but I am so excited to get my teeth into something this kind of intricate and complicated and all over cables. I think it's going to be a fun one. So I have no idea if I'm going to have started this early enough. I haven't started it yet. It is on my list for this week because I need to get going, because I feel like this is going to take me a while. It's a top down saddle shoulder jumper. I'm hoping that like once I get into it, it won't actually be too complicated. I think it will definitely still be something that I'll need to like carve out some time, sit down and focus on, but I'm really looking forward to that. I haven't had a project like that in absolutely ages, so that is my plan for this yarn here, and fingers crossed it all turns out. Okay, so now on to some acquisitions. All of these acquisitions that I've brought to show you today are ones we have picked up from basically secondhand. So I really wanted to share my finds with you because we found some gems. I say we because I haven't really been able to go out much because of my anxiety, but my mum went to the Phyllis Tuckwell when they were putting on like they had loads of craft stuff, so she brought home some goodies, so I thought I would share them with you. First thing we have is this pack of 4. What are you? Camel hand knitting alpaca. It's a 60% alpaca and 30% wool and 10% acrylic, and it's like a pretty much a chunky weight yarn. It's 100 grams is 115 meters. I hadn't actually felt this. Wow, that is so soft. Oh, I'm excited. I'm not sure what I'm going to do with this, but I had been thinking to maybe stripe it with like a grey and make some kind of vest or something. I think my mum would really like that. Or I could make like a wrap. I think that would also be really nice. But yeah, it's probably gonna like do some kind of striping. It's like greys and a bit of purples in there. It's really lovely, and like I said, it is so soft. So I've no idea how much these retail for full price, but my mum got them for £7, which I don't think is too bad. And then she found some cones, and if yarn is on a cone, it just makes me 10 times more excited. Is that weird? She picked up these 2 massive cones, one in this really lovely light blue and then one in navy. These are 100% acrylic, but they were 50p. 50p and they're like really nice, like soft acrylic, and for someone who is like really sensitive to wool, acrylic might be the way to go for me. Not for everything, but for some things I think acrylic has its place. When I knit myself, I say when because it will be when I knit myself a sweater out of this one, I will keep it for years and years, and it'll be worn and loved, and yeah, for 50p you can't really go wrong. Like I'm gonna get a sweater for 50p. Like that blows my mind. These just say Bramwell 4-ply, 100% acrylic, made in the UK, 500 grams approximately. This one's Bonnie 4-ply in the sky colourway, but it doesn't say how much is on this one. I think it's a little bit less than this one, but I might be wrong. So yeah, she picked these two up. Not sure what I'm going to do with this one, but I might use it for a blanket or something. I'm not 100% sure, but they were, as I said, they were 50p. We couldn't pass them up. And then the final comb that she got from the Phyllis Tuckwell sale was this one, which is Cascade, 100% acrylic, 4-ply, 500 grams. But this is like, it feels like threads of cotton plied together. It's a very, very interesting yarn in this really lovely beige colour, and I think this would be perfect for a bag. I really want to try holding this double and making the Breeze bag by Petite Knit. I've had my eye on that pattern for ages, and I think this could be the perfect yarn for it. And because it's acrylic, like you could even put it in the washing machine if, you know, the bag gets grubby or whatever. But yeah, it's like a really, like, there is absolutely zero kind of stretch to this yarn. And also this says Cascade on it, but then it says Craft. I'm assuming it's not the same Cascade as this. Is it? I don't know, is this like really old Cascade or something? I don't know. And the final yarn which I have to show you, my mum went to, someone local to us put together this sort of market where you could have a stall to sell your crafting stuff that you don't want anymore. So there was like fabric, yarn, probably loads of other craft stuff. Again, I couldn't go, my anxiety has just been so bad at the moment. But she came home with this little bag. There isn't really an easy opening point, so you'll just have to excuse the ruffle, but this is Sublime Extra Fine Merino. I believe this is a DK weight, and it is in this gorgeous bubble gum pink. I think this would be gorgeous in a slip over for my mum. There is 2, 4, 6, 7 balls. Each ball is 116 meters, so we may have to stripe it or something, but I think it was £7, so £1 a ball. She couldn't pass it up. Like the colour, and it's 100% merino wool. It's super, super soft. So yeah, we will see what this one's future is. Okay, I think I have been talking for long enough. Thank you so much if you have made it to this point in the video. If you did enjoy, I would appreciate it so much if you would give this video a thumbs up and subscribe if you haven't already. It really, really does help me out. I will make sure to come back sooner next time so there isn't quite so much to get through, and hopefully I'll have some of my upcoming plans on the needles too. I'm really looking forward to getting my Lise top done and getting something new on the needles. I'm itching to cast something new on, so I'm sure that will be done very soon. With that, I hope you have a lovely day wherever you are in the world, and I will see you very soon for a brand new video. Bye!